So I like this. So that what we're asking basically is, we hear about all this stuff called leaky gut. So we'll go through what that is here for a second. And then, what about all these things that are being advertised and marketed and things of that nature? Always remember this. Advertising and marketing, no matter what, no matter who's doing it, myself, Robert, the station, TV, doesn't matter. It's designed to sell to you, right? That's what marketing is. That's what advertising is. It's designed to get you to buy it. Now, the question is there any validity behind it? Or is it just something that someone said, hey, I can make a buck there? And I'll tell you a really quick, easy story that may help you a ton. A friend of mine went to college with this kid. The kid got on some kick about beetroot powder or this or that and decided, you know what, I can make money in that. And he started figuring out Amazon and I guess SEO and how stuff pops up on the internet, and all stuff way above my head. And he makes a mint off of selling beetroot on Amazon, okay, a mint, and has zero health knowledge whatsoever. So that being said and done, understand that a lot of companies that are making products and things like that are coming from that angle, in my opinion. They come from that angle. So leaky gut is kind of a darling phrase and has been for the last decade or so. And all it means is that your GI lining from mouth to exit has been agitated or irritated by any number of different things. Usually it's the diet. Usually it is then bacteria or things in the gut that are allowed to proliferate and grow out of control a little bit, and they just aggravate the tissue. The tissue then kind of gets a little irritated. It swells, it distends, it can affect bowel function, and the next thing you know, stuff starts getting across the gut wall inside the body where it's not supposed to be. Now you have a problem. So what fixes it and how would you know? From my world, I run an IUP, which is the Integrated Urinalysis Panel. It's a lab, and it'll tell you if it's there or not. And that's what I do. So if you're looking at digestion, if you're looking at do you break down the food, do you utilize the food that you're actually physically putting in, are you throwing away the waste? I like to know. So a good friend of mine always says to see is to know, to not see is to guess. And there's a lot of guessing in the healthcare world. So when you said, hey, this product's really expensive, does it work, does it not? I've never used it, so I don't know per se on that end of things. I just know in 2 decades of clinical practice, I know what works. And since I don't use it, odds are really, really, really good that some new thing just popping out of the woodwork at random is probably not that high. You see it with diets all the time. Right, look at how many diets are out there. I mean, there are hundreds, if not thousands of diets, and all they are just copies of old ones from 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And they just tweak it a little bit and new version. Tweak it a little bit, rename it, and here it comes again. It's almost like they just rewrap the same thing. It's like regifting, right? You regift. I got this for Christmas. I didn't want it. Here, I'll give it to you. And, that's what happens. And so you look at these things, you think to yourself, all right, is it a real thing? Yeah, it is. Leaky gut is absolutely a real deal. And it affects a lot of processes in the body. So if you want to know, all right, do I even need to mess with this? Run an IUP. It's the easiest way to tell. Or if you have go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you don't think you have a problem, is it a good thing to go ahead and take that kind of stuff?
As a preventive, you mean? Yeah, I would say no. Because in my world, here's what I do. I believe that when you look at food, the number one problem food has in the human body is being broken down. It's being digested. So that is the number one issue we have with food. It doesn't digest well. It doesn't break down. So you have to then look and say, okay, well, what does that? What digests food? Enzymes. It's the only thing in the human body that digests food for you. That's it. So when we look at that, we think, okay, so enzymes eat our diet. They break it down. Have you ever been to our webpage?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah, cool. So here's what I would do. Go to our webpage if you can. Look up the videos that we've done. I did a video maybe a year or two ago. It'll be in one of the headers about, I did it with oatmeal. And I showed you how different types of oatmeal, regular oatmeal, like real, true, raw oatmeal, stone ground type oatmeal versus steel cut versus instant. And I took enzymes and poured them into the oatmeal, and you can see what they do to the oatmeal. They're going to eat it in the glass right in front of you. You'll watch it I just did it in my kitchen at home with my wife. They'll eat it in the glass. They'll literally turn into a bowl of water. That's digestion. So when you're looking, my rule has always been this. I prefer whole food, eat a real diet, right? Eat foods that are real. Things you can pick, things you can grow, things you can hunt, fish, or trap. Those are good things for you. Everything else is supplemental at best. And so when this company, whatever they are, they're talking about a supplement, always remember those are supplements. They're not meant to replace your diet. They're not meant to fix everything. They're just there to kind of prop it up a little bit if they can. Now, in my experience with things, when things are really expensive and they're really hard to get and there's lots of claims made around them, like, oh my gosh, this is the cool thing that nobody knew about, and you click funnel and all of a sudden you're buying 10 of them, right? When you get into that kind of stuff, just be cautious. Okay, go back to basics and say, all right, I'm going to eat a nice natural diet. I'm going to digest my food. That's the number one thing. If you can just digest what you're already putting in, you don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. Does that help you?
Yes, it does.
All right, young lady, thank you for your call. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Have a great weekend.